So what does a fighting game have to do to be considered so good that if you even dared to say it's not one of the top 5 greatest fighting games of all time, you would immediately be discredited faster than a Kotaku article? A lot of times we as fans do tend to see things through rose-tinted glasses, meaning that when we find our first fighting game that holds a special place in our heart, it's often impossible for anyone to change our minds about it. Whether it's CVS 2 or Street Fighter 3 or Super Smash Bros. Melee. Yes, I'm calling Melee a fighting game again. That captured the hearts of so many people both in and outside of the FGC, that even something as simple as background music for selecting your character gets people lit. Oh, that shit never gets old. So if that's the case, then how do we know if these games are really the best fighting games ever? Because if I wanted to be lazy, I could have just made a tier list where I put old, nostalgic, difficult games at the top, and then newer games with auto combos at the bottom. And honestly, as much as I hate to say this, I might be kind of right. No, but seriously, it ultimately comes down to personal preferences, right? Some people were drawn to Guilty Gear because of the heavy metal influence. Who's to say it's not allowed to be considered the greatest fighting game because of the soundtracks? No other reason. I mean, shit, even game mechanics are down to specific preferences. A lot of people say Third Strike's parry is the best mechanic in a fighting game. But did you know that some people hate it? Because the parry forces you to second guess your decision making. Similar to a character who is memed for being one of the most hated characters because her defensive options make you second guess your decision making. Kinda interesting, huh? So in my opinion, yes, my opinion, I think what makes for the best and most fun fighting games are fighting games that promote as much creativity and expression with its characters. So what the fuck does that mean? What I mean by creativity and expression is that when you're watching someone play a character, they're not just simply playing a fighting game, but they are expressing their playstyle and personality through that character. I think a few games that come to mind, probably my top 3 favorite fighting games of all time: Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Guilty Gear Xrd Sign, and BlazBlue. No, not you. Ready? Let's get it, bro. See, I like interesting mechanics, such as memorizing pool ball formations and hitting the balls in specific directions to ricochet for zoning and setups. Zipping around the stage with Spider-Man with unique mobility that no other character can match. Blowing through shit with Hulk's massive fucking normals and hyper armor. Stellar zoning with Hawkeye's arrows and traps. The game design on how these characters function is unique, and they express how the characters are in the comics and movies in the game, and thus allows the player to pick them up and express themselves by playing their favorite character. So this is something that's always bothered me about other fighting games. Take DBFZ for example. Now, before the Dragon Ball FighterZ fans get in their feelings, I have like over 1,000 hours on the game. I like the game. It's not a bad game, and I promise I'm not just gonna say LOL Super Dash is a trash mechanic and call it a day. But it always bothered me that the characters are just so homogenized that the creativity and expression among the cast is kind of stunted. Yes, I know there's some like Twitter sparking combos you can do, and the game has gotten a lot better as the seasons have gone by and they added in more assists and stuff a while back. But the fact that like every character has the same health pool, every character kind of feels that they move at the same speed, every character more or less has the same game plan, every character basically has Super Dash and Vanish with like small exceptions, like Master Roshi for example. Like yeah, Broly is big and he has some armor moves, but he still has like the same health and mobility as someone else, and why the fuck is he so good at zoning people? But even the characters who do have unique mechanics, like you have Beerus that can summon his ki blasts and then he can like ricochet them and bounce them everywhere, but then people can just super dash through them because LOL Super Dash is a trash mechanic. I'm kidding, I said I wasn't gonna do that. But yeah, you might not agree, but for me it just isn't as entertaining to watch or want to play as characters who don't really do anything special, and I feel like if I'm watching 2 people play that character, they're both kind of doing the same thing, it just kind of gets boring. Sorry. Instead, how about a witch who every time she hits you, her normals stock spells that you have to memorize and actually do creative shit. Wind blasts, an overhead rock slam, tracking meteors, disabling your ability to jump. How about a big burly grappler, but let's give him magnets to pull you in. A jamming bomb that literally makes your controls backwards so it's difficult to control your character. How about a bottom tier character that has to survive and struggle to search for evidence until you can turn the tides once you finally get the evidence you need and potentially become a very strong broken character. Like let's say for example let's say BrendanMushi, your boy, was creating his own fighting game, right? And I was like, hey guys, I'm making my own fighting game and it's called Road Brawlers, right? And the main character's name is Jake, and he throws fireballs and he punches and kicks people and he wears a karate gi. You know, it's okay. It might be a good game. It might be a good game. Just because the character's kind of generic doesn't mean it's not a good game, but yeah, you probably don't give a fuck. But what if I was like, there's a character who is a zoner, right? but he zones you out with command grabs. And he can stop time and summon ghosts from the dead. All right, maybe he sounds like a little bit broken, but you want to see it though. At least a little bit. You want to see it, I know you do. There isn't really a hard metric for determining what is the best fighting game unless you agree on established terms of what makes a good fighting game. But like, I'm not gonna do that, so good luck. In my opinion, it's fighting games that allow you to do fun, creative, broken, cool, and broken shit that are the most fun to me. Maybe you enjoy ducking and dodging in the 3D space, or maybe you like patiently poking in neutral and using minute spacing in order to get the upper hand on your opponent. Or maybe you hate neutral and you just LOL super dash because it's a trash mechanic. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't fucking like super dash, I'm sorry. Whatever the case is, my opinion is superior. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.